Welcome, everybody. You ever feel like your life is just too complicated? There's too much family drama going on? You don't know who you love sexually and who you're related to? Sometimes it's both.
Welcome to the attic.
It's VC's Peasies.
We are recording in the attic. We are in an actual attic because that's just appropriate for this. So I am Katie.
I'm Tia.
And that's all you need to know. So let's start with the clunky bits that I just realized as we were spitballing some ideas here. My mind has mispronounced many words of this. So we are starting with the first book written by V.C. Andrews, Flowers in the Attic, following the
Dollenganger.
Dollenganger, or as I pronounce it, Dollenganger. Dollenganger? Dollenganger. I like a soft G.
Dollenganger.
Additionally, the mother of these children is
Corinne.
Corinne? Corinne?
Which we found out you can say that way.
You can say either way.
But according to the movies, which we have to believe.
I've never seen. We'll get to it. Don't worry. But I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna say things differently, as is my right as an American. So let's start straight out the gate. Do you remember how old you were when you first read Flowers in the Attic? I don't.
I remember that I grew up watching the movie, which is problematic, but, you know, if you know anything about my past, it's not surprising. I was probably, I think we were both in high school when maybe middle school?
Maybe,
Late middle school,
like
early
it was
high
like
school?
a very middle school type of book.
Yeah, but like forbidden.
Right, like before you know what anything sexual or sexy is, there's Flowers in the Attic.
Yeah, where it will fuck up your perspective of all of that.
Yeah, so you don't know anything, and it's naughty, and it's like, before we begin, I just want to let you know, if you haven't read Flowers in the Attic, you need to pause this podcast, because there are going to be spoilers ahead. There will now be a 3-second pause for you to read Flowers in the Attic. Well, now that you've read Flowers in the Attic...
And called your therapist to
your priest.
Unleash a lot of things that you didn't know you were hiding from yourself.
You took a long drive, you looked at the ocean or some fields of wheat.
You contemplated life.
You are
Sadly.
feeling things after you read this. Maybe you hucked it across the room. We don't know.
Maybe you feel better now because your life isn't as bad as these fictional characters.
So incest.
Yeah.
Is where it is. So that's the big naughty part of the book. Incest. It's terrible. That's the thing. That's the big twist of the book, is the incest.
But it's loving incest that nothing feels righter than.
Nothing feels righter or wronger. So let's... Here is what, if you have decided to forego reading Flowers in the Attic, and you're just along for the ride because you've heard that book, you've heard people talking about it, but you're not a reader, per se. You're not one who reads.
Or you don't want to waste your time.
You don't really give a care. Here's the synopsis of Flowers in the Attic. Such wonderful children, such a beautiful mother, such a lovely house, such endless terror. It wasn't that she didn't love her children. She did. But there was a fortune at stake, a fortune that would assure their later happiness if she could keep the children a secret from her dying father. So she and her mother hid her darlings away in an unused attic, just for a little while. But the brutal days turned into agonizing years. Now Kathy, Chris, and the twins wait in their cramped and helpless world, stirred by adult dreams, adult desires, served a meager sustenance by an angry, superstitious grandmother who knows that the devil works in dark, devious ways. Sometimes he sends children to do his work, children who, one by one, must be destroyed. Way upstairs there are 4 secrets hidden. Blonde, beautiful, innocent, struggling to stay alive. Sidebar, how is the devil working through these children?
Because they're products of like half uncle mom.
They're products of incest.
Lust. I'm going to say, though, that grandmother, she's not superstitious because that would be witchcraft, and she is a godly woman.
Fact.
Yeah, not superstitious.
So let's
Just a lot.
Let's actually start at the beginning, in Kathy's idyllic life in Gladstone.
Pennsylvania.
Gladstone.
All the stones are glad.
How hack do you have to be to just kind of paint this whole childhood? It was in Gladstone, if I can say that. It was very glad times. All right.
It was the 50s. Everything was glad.
And, oh God. How do we feel about Christopher Elder? Why does he just works all week?
Yeah, I guess so. He's like a traveling
Man.
He was a traveling man. Because, Corinne was a lazy housewife who just wanted to...
She was just beautiful and bathing in perfumed oils.
Yes, literally bathing all day in perfumed oils. The day her husband came home, her kids had to fend for themselves so that she could
But that's
get
what
ready
kids
to
did back then.
I mean, they did.
They did. They just went sledding and all the other idyllic things.
Like pouring your parents' cocktails.
Okay. All right. Mommy dearest.
All right. Also, Mad Men.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right.
If you were a child in the 50s, please call in.
Call the number on your screen.
Please call the number on your screen and let me know if you have made any cocktails for your parents.
So this is Corinne. Corinne is just Kathy's model of womanhood.
Oh, she's so beautiful.
The way she tilts her head and things.
Fingers her pearls.
She fingers her pearls.
That's not even a euphemism. She's just constantly fingering pearls.
With the clasp.
Yeah. Butterfly clasp.
Constantly clasping fingering.
Classic fingering.
Oh, God.
If your name was Corinne, you probably would too. Gotta find a clasp to finger if that's your name. You're born into it. It's your lot in life.
That's your lot in life yes. So then, I mean, who cares? There's this whole bit in the beginning about the twins being born and Kathy's jealous, but then she's not jealous.
Because Daddy still loves her and he's her first Kathy and Catherine.
So then
Ballerina.
it starts picking up steam on Daddy's birthday. And Daddy dies on his birthday.
Oh, can you picture it?
Daddy done died on his birthday.
Picture it. Surprise party. Everyone's waiting.
There's balloons.
Time keeps getting later and later. The decadent meal is ruined at this point.
It's drying out.
It's drying.
It's not
moist.
moist.
It is dying in the window.
It is no longer moist, damp, wet.
Every car, is that Daddy? Is that Daddy?
Is it Daddy?
That must be Daddy's car. Oh no, it's policeman. Coming to announce to a room full of partygoers.
He died on his birthday, just like Edgar Allan Poe. I love that. Edgar Allan Poe died on his birthday.
How telltale.
So there's the blah blah blah. Daddy's dead, and
like you do.
Boring. There's neighbors. There's casseroles. There's eternal casseroles.
But that's also just a 50s thing, anyways. I don't think they had other food, right?
Everything was in casserole form.
Well, it was either a casserole or it had gelatin in it.
Was it an
It was a Jello mold.
It was
yeah.
like a Can we put a casserole in a Jello mold? Can we
Maybe.
take a casserole, scoop out bits with a melon baller, and then suspend them in Jello? Trademark, copyright.
Yeah.
There's gonna be like a tuna noodle ball.
Just stopped up.
I'm actually vomiting right now.
Ugh, I can see it.
It's a tuna
Her
noodle
eyes
ball.
are watering.
So, and then the day arrives when a creamy envelope arrives.
It's so thick and creamy.
So thick and creamy.
This is the creamiest envelope of
Correspondence.
cream
This is a creamy correspondence.
you've ever seen.
And so
Creamy, thick paper.
It's thick. It's thick paper. It is THICC paper.
Yeah.
Thick. This paper be thick. So
And creamy.
So Mama Dollenganger.
Dollenganger.
Corinne.
Corinne.
Sits her precious flaxen babies down.
They're so flaxen.
They're so flaxen.
They're so darling.
And explains to them that she is from a very wealthy family, the Foxworths. And I, P.S., love the aside where they're like, well, why did you give us a hard to spell name?
Yeah.
Like, of all things, this name is hard to spell.
Yeah, why did you do that?
So So they learn about Foxworth Hall and
also that their mother is basically just like, I grew up to be a trophy wife.
I know.
I don't know.
What do I even? I got these Rent-A-Center bills. She is
Aaron's is knocking down my door.
her whole life is just like fucking for Rent-A-Center payments.
Yeah, seriously.
Until he like jizzes furniture.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, she's just like bathing and brushing her hair till it shines
For a couch.
for a couch, and just being like, well, I didn't expect to ever do anything but be a wife.
I don't understand couches and money.
Which I know was, of the times, but it is
Easy credit ripoff.
it is hard. It is hard to read that now and just be like, oh, fucking.
It's hard out there for a pimp. They didn't have Craigslist back then.
That's true. She
You
could have.
couldn't get a used couch.
And Corinne would have used Craigslist. Oh, you meant for used furniture. I meant for booty calls.
You meant for Rent-A-Center payments.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're calling it.
Yeah, Rent-A-Center payments.
So they have to go, and I can't remember if at the time that they discussed this, was it then or a little bit later as they were packing? Oh, it's from the second they learned this. Pack now!
Yeah.
Pack now! Leave everything.
She's like, you only can fit your stuff into 2 suitcases because I need 2
I
suitcases.
need 17 suitcases.
She's like, I need all the suitcases. Leave all your toys.
Leave it. I mean, first of all, okay, fine. These are refugees. They're fleeing their home to a better time.
So they think.
So I can't remember if it's then, like, when, I don't know when, I can't remember the introduction to the idea that they have to be hidden away.
So it's the mom's being like, oh my God, and yeah, he'll learn to love you too, and all this stuff. And
Her father, their grandfather, is, there was a falling out. We don't know what yet.
that's not true. She was fucking her
Uncle. Well, no,
half
she didn't
uncle.
she didn't tell the children.
All right.
She didn't tell the children. She didn't tell the children yet. The children didn't know.
And right now you're our children, so I apologize for ruining it for you.
So, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So there's a falling out. They have to be hidden away for just one night. For just one night.
Yeah, I think once they got there.
It was just one night.
Go in there.
So they are on a train and they're traveling and they get dropped off in the woods at a depot.
Yep.
And trucking through the woods, and there's twins, and they're annoying, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, Corey's fine, but Carrie's obnoxious. She is whiny.
She's a whiner.
I would have boxed her ears, too.
Right in the face.
Right in the Kaiser. Right in the Kaiser roll.
And then as they get to the attic, they meet the grandmother. Always wearing gray. I am a little confused about her body type. P.S. By the way, is she like a linebacker?
Yeah, that's what I picture.
She's like a linebacker.
I picture her as like a shorter female Lurch from the Addams Family.
She's very tall though.
Yeah, but I mean Lurch is extremely tall.
Okay, fine.
Just like an abnormally tall woman version of Lurch.
But stacked.
She's ample bosom.
Ample of the bosom.
Of which apparently almost everybody has. You find out a lot about breast shape in this book series.
They are twin hills of concrete.
That's right.
Did anyone knock on them? Like,
I'd knock on them.
I would knock them senseless.
Yep. Have them knock me senseless.
So, pa.
Actually, I need to interject here. Most of this book doesn't actually take place in the attic because they're locked in a room.
This is a point of contention for you. That
It is
not.
Like there were flowers in the attic means that there were like paper flowers in the attic, and also like they were dying up. It is thematic.
It's thematic.
But the whole thing is just like they spent all this time in the attic, and they didn't because they didn't go up there in the winter, and they didn't go up there in the super summer hot. They spent most of the time locked in one room with 2 beds and a bathroom.
So yeah, it's
Probably bigger than my apartment, actually.
Let's set the scene for the listener viewers. It's a room with 2 like double beds, I believe, and an adjoining bath. And in the closet, there's a staircase to an attic that runs the length of the mansion. Additionally, portraits of hell on the wall.
Portraits of hell. Everywhere.
Portraits of hell on the wall.
And all that dark furniture.
Dark, heavy furniture.
Heavy draperies that are not allowed to be.
Oriental rugs, if I may. Which
I think they still call them Oriental rugs.
I don't know if we're supposed to, though. We don't say the Orient anymore.
I know, but I think it's the style of
Hashtag,
rug.
is that true?
Yeah, call in. Let us know.
Call in
if
the
they're calling
number on
them
your screen.
something else.
Let us know if we're supposed to say Oriental.
I think you can when it's rugs, right?
You know, I don't know.
I think you can if it's rugs. If you can't when it's rugs,
I'm sorry.
please call in immediately because I don't want to say the wrong thing about rugs or the Orient.
So that's the setup. Here we are, and then that's the book. They are living in the room. And if you haven't read the books, I'm sorry. Let's set it up. Kathy is 12 and on the cusp of puberty. Christopher is 14 and pubing out.
14, almost 15, because they're about 3 years apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
The twins are four,
Five.
Five.
Five
Okay.
when they get there, yeah.
And also, they're described as very innocent children, which on the way over here, I was thinking, 14, Christopher, at almost 15, is very innocent.
He might be. It's the early 60s at this point, like... And he's all just like, I want to be a bookworm and become a doctor. I just... Learning is my hard on. That was Chris as a young teen.
I try to block my ears at the locker room talk.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just like, I learn things, but for scientific reasons.
Okay.
Because I want to be a doctor, so I need to know how bodies work, but...
foof. So we're here, and they're in the room, and then the next day, grandmother comes, and she is not tender with her grandbabies. It is pointed many times. There's no tenderness with the babies, the grandchildren, and they wish to have a loving grandmother, and she is firm and resolute with her twin heels of concrete and her gray taffeta buttoned up to the neck.
So much gray taffeta.
So much gray taffeta.
And her steely eyes.
And then the next day is when Mama Corinne
You got it.
comes back, and she has to show them her punishment for the transgression that they don't talk about. I think that we don't talk about yet.
Yeah, no, you don't. Not yet. The grandma
the
just
big
like kind of busts out later. Maybe during that time. I don't know. The grandma's crazy. Grandmother
Corinne has been whipped
from neck to heels.
Neck to heels, whipped with a whip for marrying her step uncle, half uncle. They did an incest.
It's her father's way younger half brother.
And I feel like they justified that by saying, but we didn't have deformed babies.
Yeah, they did.
None of you have any intellectual disabilities, no horns, no you all look pretty cute, so
and most of you guys are smart, right?
So it's okay.
Like you have a skill, the twins will probably have skills.
So this is so if you do an incest, as long as you don't make freak babies, go ahead.
Totally fine.
And it's love always wins.
You know, I am gonna say it is a bit different because Corinne and OG Christopher
won.
The dad, Christopher won. Christopher Senior. They were like 14 and 17, which is like not a cute age gap right now, but could have been a lot worse back in the day.
I feel like it's just not cute generally.
I know,
fine.
but I'm saying it's not like they grew up together in the same house.
That's a thing, by the way.
What?
Like people finding out that they were like put up for adoption, or like finding family members and like getting into a sexual relationship with them.
Like it's like
it's a
I don't want to
thing.
say the side effect is wrong, but like it is something
byproduct.
It's something that happens. I learned about that on SVU. Sometimes like it's not terribly uncommon to be like, oh my God, you're my estranged dad. Let's bone. Like
it's like a little uncommon, but not terribly uncommon. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
If we're gonna believe Stabler.
I think it was. No, because it was Wong. It was Wong.
Oh, fine.
If George Wong says it, I believe it.
So basically, this once we kind of get the full-ish story, it is apparent that these children are going to have to live in this room/attic for a time, and
it went from like a night to a couple days
to a couple weeks
to like
a
2
bit.
weeks max.
And she's done with it. She realizes she's never going to be forgiven, and she's going to secretary school. Which leads us to our sponsor, No Name Secretary School. Don't be a shitbag. Get a skill. Don't lock your kids away. Make a living. So she goes to secretary school to learn a skill and support her children's support her childrens. In the meantime, grandmother brings up every morning milk and sandwiches and soup and the foods.
Fried chicken.
Many fried chickens.
Macaroni salad. Potato salad? Potato salad.
It's just like
A thermos of soup.
a thermos of soup and a thermos of milk
Some crackers.
for the babies. For the bones. So I jotted this down, and you were very questioning of this. I wrote down weekly groceries because I feel like she really did too much. She could have brought them up a loaf, like once a week, a loaf of bread, jar of peanut butter, jar of jelly, some can opener. Like she could have just. She maybe would have had to make 2 trips on one day instead of creeping around at 6 a.m., they say. At 6 a.m. before the servants awake.
I know, it is really weird thinking about her like at 6 a.m. making fried chicken for children that she hates.
Where is this fried chicken coming from?
I don't know.
There's a cook. Are they making vats of potato salad? Do they think there's a buffet happening?
Yeah, like, are we supposed to believe that grandmother is the one who is like up at
Boiling potatoes and like mixing the mayo and mustard.
Yeah, what?
And this is a mayo-based dish that's just sitting in a picnic basket.
Creamy.
This is just a creamy diarrhea.
Creamy tates.
Creamy tates. So time goes on. So it's the horror. The horror unfolds, and they have to live in this dark room, and they go up to the attic, and there's a room in the attic.
Yeah, which I
room.
don't really, even reading it, I don't really understand because it was like, oh, there was
they put drywall up.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like, it's hard for me to visualize like someone building like a drywall room. Plus, did drywall even exist? Because they're trying to pretend like this has been there since like the 1800s.
It's horsehair plaster.
Exactly. No drywall existed when there was horsehair plaster, when this room was clearly erected. And they're like, there's carved things into the school tables. We want the first one.
of learning.
Yeah, like what? When are we going to get those books? Why was everyone put in the attic in this time? It's like,
because it's a legacy idea.
The house is so big, I'm sure there's shitty rooms. You can just make a shitty room.
We don't need to use the attic, Jesus.
I feel like the attics, like if you're going to make someone suffer, don't put them in a huge space. They'll find something to do.
Heating or cooling. It was hot or cold up there.
Yeah, so is every room back before there's like...
All right, central air.
Yeah, exactly.
Before ductwork was a thing.
Exactly. They had to, like... The heat was from, like, fireplaces, and the cooling was from...
The window.
Windows that were open.
The window.
I don't know.
So they make it fun for the twins, and here we are at the title of the book, which is They Make Flowers for the Attic. Many, many busy worked hours, and...
Construction paper.
Many construction papers.
A snail that looks like a deflated beach ball.
And the worm?
The worm.
The worm.
Purple and red. Carrie's favorite colors.
So that's all you need to know about the story. They lived in the attic. So let's take a pause here, and I'm going to read you. These are the notes that I received from Tia regarding the notes she took. Daddy, Mama, Grandmother, Devil Spawn, Hair, Twins, Grandmother, Hair, Ballerina, Grandmother, Hair, Mama, Hair, The Bar, Hair, Corey, Lurking, Fried Chicken, Hair, Blue Eyes Mustache, Hair. So you really seem fixated on hair.
I feel like besides describing breasts...
That's the fifth child, is hair.
Yes.
It's like the fifth beetle.
Well, besides like describing breasts and then bodies after that, like V.C. Andrews is really talking about
the blondness.
Hair. Well, even like later, like the curly thickness of like the ringlets fell and like, but really with the blonde. Molten gold. It's a halo of gold. She brushed it till it shone like gold.
She laid her head she spread it on the pillow so she could feel its silken softness on her cheek.
Yeah, just a lot about hair.
It's very gross to you.
Well, I don't know. It's not gross. It's just like, in general, the V.C. Andrews books, at least this series of the Dollengangers, there's a lot of repeated words and phrases sometimes in the same
flaxen hair.
Sometimes in the same paragraph.
Flaxen hair of flaxenness with the hair of it.
So I don't know. I just notice all the time because Kathy would be like, "Oh, and we were here, and then like my hair and Mama's hair, and Chris's hair was getting long, and like Carrie's hair was growing thin, and my hair. golden spun gold, golden spun gold, molten hair.
What about Daddy and Mama?
What about them?
I don't know. It's just you wrote that down. You just thought that was funny.
Because she was just always like pining for the Kathy. This is told by Kathy's point of view, by the way. We're 25 minutes in. Yeah, this book is written from Kathy's point of view. In like the sort of like, this really happened, but I've changed some things to protect no one because everything's terrible.
Mama, Daddy.
Yeah, because she keeps like being like, oh, if Daddy was here, he never would have let that happen. And then like, Mama hasn't been back in weeks. And like, I missed Daddy again. And I saw Chris and I thought of Daddy. And like,
Mama, Daddy, Mama, Daddy, Mama, Daddy.
Yeah, Papa, Daddy, Mama, Daddy,
Mama,
Daddy,
Daddy,
brother,
Mama.
Daddy, Mom.
Devil spawn is what the grandmother calls these children because they are products of incest. A little rude. A little rude in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, of all the things that she's done, I feel like that's one of the less rude. Those are just words.
She did the whippings. Yes, because grandfather ordered the whippings.
One for every year they were married, and then like
Separate, like lived together, or
something like that. And then
a
like
lot of-
one for every year
many
that they
lashes.
lived together, and then one for every year they lived together.
So, Christopher is going to be a doctor, and Lady Catherine, is going to be a prima ballerina. So can we talk about, well, before we get really into the second act, kind of rounding out the first act of the book is the Christmas party of that first year. It's an affair, and Mama is sexy with her heaving velveteen bosom.
Her flowing gown of emerald green chiffon. Panels flowing behind her like wings.
Ample bosom.
Yeah.
Ample.
So
It's
many
ample.
bosoms.
And
If you like bosoms, read this series.
Christopher noted his mother's bosom with his eyeballs. Ew.
I don't know. A teenage boy's just going to look at boobs. Especially, like, knowing all the things about this series. Whatever. Like, I'm sure you looked at your mom's boobs.
So they get to spy on the Christmas party.
Yeah, Corinne's like, that's fine, guys. Just be quiet and hide in this piece of furniture.
I'm a little confused about the construction. It has a mesh backing. Can't you see through mesh? Can anyone see these flaxen-haired children?
I'm picturing it like a speaker. Like, how a not that it is a speaker, but how a speaker works. How it's like, you know, you can't see into it, but there's...
Okay.
Sound
maybe
can get
I
out.
get you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I pictured like a chicken coop. There's like a chicken coop on the rotunda. They crawled up a ramp.
Yeah, it was really weird how they somehow had like
Full
a 360 view of everything. Like
no one could see them.
like a whole globule view. Like they could see from every angle somehow and like hear what people were. It was
something.
It was something definitely for the audience and not about like how this would actually be feasible.
It really just kind of shows the wealth of the grand Foxworth family, and it's very opulent, and there's fountains. Opulence! There's fountains of champagne and hors d'oeuvres as far as the eye can see. And these children, almost 15 and 12, are just thinking about when they're going to be this rich. And that really tempers the whatever they're feeling.
The horribleness of being locked up for like 4 months at this point.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whatever. They're fine.
Okay, fine. So they also, this is our first sight of Mustache. Bart Winslow, and just dancing with Mama Corinne.
They were like, oh my God, are they necking?
Yeah, they necking. So there's this. So there's like a little bit. I think in my mind, this kind of closes the first half of the book. But I mean, there's a lot of detail about the furnishings and the draperies and the darkness of the room, and they can't open the draperies because people might see and let in the sunlight. I feel like this book, every other sentence has like a minor chord behind it.
Yes,
and it's like shot from an angle. It's like written from an angle, lit with lines. It's written like a soap opera.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As the reread, it was just in my head. All I could see was like cut, angle, lighting, gong.
I saw it a lot. Pictured a lot of like Vaseline smeared lenses filming.
Why?
Well, because
I've not seen the movie.
No.
Oh, okay.
Because it's soap opera. Like, you know, everything's got that like haze to it, where it's just like.
I picture it was crystal clear in my mind.
Oh.
So there's
maybe
a huge.
Too clear. So Sunlight has a huge
It's a thing. It's
part
a
in this
point.
book.
You can't move the draperies. No one gets sun. Chris and Kathy decide to go out on the roof.
Yep, they just hang out.
To get the sun.
To sunbathe.
To sunbathe nude.
It's fine. They're brother and sister. It's fine.
Innocent. They're children.
Trust me, they're fine.
They're children.
They're fine.
Chris is almost 15, but he is an innocent child. And they also tried to drag the twins out while they're sleeping.
Was it? Oh, yeah, it was.
Right, and they flipped out, because of course you would.
You wake up on a roof when you're 5, 6.
Of a giant mansion. So there's a huge bit, that's like a point about the twins not getting the sunlight that Chris and Kathy are getting.
Because of that, their bodies didn't grow, but their heads went huge.
Heads got real big. So here we are in the second part of the book, and I don't remember how far into the future it picks up. I think Kathy veers from 12 to 15.
No. It start like after the Christmas party, pretty much. She's like, the next year passed without much. Like,
Yeah.
They kind of like skip over a whole year.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and then just keep talking about like Mama's visits get like farther and farther apart.
But
and
the gifts keep coming because she's rich.
And then like, is she really telling us that she's not really listening?
She's not going to secretary school. Is the grandfather going to die?
When's the grandfather
When
gonna
is
die?
he gonna die? Unless
When
you
is he gonna
inherit
die?
the millions, the million billions. So,
And also, Kathy's getting pissed at her mom. She's like, hey, though, bitch, I don't think you are telling the truth. And Chris is like, no.
mother is pure.
Mama would never do
Mama would
anything to
never.
us. Mama, trust Mama. Mama. Trust Mama.
So we are going headlong into puberty. So Kathy starts pubing out, and P.S. There's a bit in there about how there's no privacy in the bathroom, which gross. I mean,
There's no privacy in the room. There's privacy in the bathroom. They have a door.
no. She talks about how like Chris would just burst in while she was like plucking her pubes.
That's true.
Because she likes a clean body.
And she also didn't understand.
She didn't understand about puberty, and she did not like these unsightly hairs. Kathy, where did you come from? Where did you go? Keep all your pubes in, Kathy.
I want to be a seal.
Oh, good. You a hoe, Kathy. You a hoe. Your mama's a hoe, and your grandmother's a hoe.
But not when you're 14. 12.
14,
that's not,
12,
13.
who knows?
Not when you're that young. That's not your fault. You're not a hoe.
So she's plucking her pubes, and Chris tries to tell her to like, don't pluck your pubes.
It was her armpit hair.
Okay, fine.
Well, that was he's like pulling, and he's like, "You don't pull hair from other places, do you?" And she was like, "What are you talking about? I don't have a vagina. I'm a baby."
She's sleek.
So sleek.
And also, speaking of puberty, Mama never saw Kathy as a burgeoning woman. She needed a brassiere for so long.
So long.
So long, the brassiere.
So long. She eventually had to steal one from her mother
I don't remember that part.
when they were breaking into the rooms.
That's right. Okay.
She was like, "Let me just take this bra."
So Kathy is a burgeoning woman, and Christopher erects a ballet bar for her. They just found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? A splintery. Who knows? He lovingly sanded it. Lovingly sanded it down so that she wouldn't splinter herself.
And of course, they have to be so quiet. Yet somehow it was fine that he nailed an entire board of wood
With
to the wall.
a ballet bar.
Like, there was just like screws and nails and stuff up there, tools.
Maybe he was industrious and pulled the nails from something else and like used a shoe as a hammer. Like, hold on. So she is a ballerina, and he peeps at her all the time.
Lurking in the shadows.
He's lurking.
Watching her from the shadows. Lurking. Everyone's lurking on Kathy.
Everyone
Grandma,
lurks.
Chris. Lurkers.
Yeah. So their puberty's happening. Their puberty's happening. So I feel like this. So the whole justification, I think, for the incest that happens later. Spoiler alert. Is and later throughout the whole series following Christopher and Kathy, is that they were shut together during their formative years, and yearning and puberting, and there was no one there but each other. So what was expected? And I feel like that really disregards those of us who were ugly from the ages of 12 to We managed. No one was yearning with us or in a reciprocal fashion. We yearned by ourselves.
Yeah, this was an excuse because she always thought her brother was handsome. It's because they look like their parents and their parents are beautiful.
You can yearn on your own, and it builds a character.
I'm stronger now for
yearning.
My yearning.
So that really kind of shoots that whole thing in the because there was no other teen to explore,
Fiddle around with,
yearn with, to clasp grab. So it was only natural that they did that to each other. So it goes very sideways when, and this is pretty quick into the second half of the book, when Kathy realizes she's never seen her grown womanly body in the mirror.
Ooh.
So while everyone's just upstairs playing in the attic, I'm just going to be full nude.
There's no mirrors in the bathroom where she could see her whole body. Can you imagine never being able to peep, though, on your own self?
Yeah. So she does that, and then all of a sudden Christopher's there, and he's like, oh yeah. Like he lurked down the stairs.
Yeah, like, did he know?
Did he know?
Did he even go upstairs?
So she's all nude, and he's all like, don't cover. Ew.
Oh, Kathy, you're a woman now.
Ew. Who should walk in? Grandmother.
I'm shocked.
Grandmother demands that Kathy cut off her flaxen gold hair.
Get your locks out of here.
Get your locks out of here.
You're too proud, bitch.
She is proud. So then when she doesn't, there's no food or drink for 2 weeks. And the twins are dying, maybe. And they have to drink Christopher's blood to survive.
That was actually after. He got she starved them after the hair.
Really?
Yeah, because they were like, it was a couple of days and they were like, all right.
When is the tar? I forgot when the tar happens.
It was like the next day or something. Yeah, like.
Grandmother pours tar on Kathy's hair.
So, yeah, we're supposed to believe that she crept in the room in the middle of the night.
I feel like there was an implication that she drugged at least Kathy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. She crept into the room in the middle of the night with like a boiling pot of tar.
Road tar.
Yeah. Where do you get that, first of all? Like, who's her hookup?
There's no Tractor Supply over near
Foxworth. And then, like, drugged Kathy so she didn't. But
she would have had to have drugged everybody.
I know. Well, but they only talked about finding a pinprick on Carrie's on Kathy's skin. But like Kathy and Carrie were sharing a bed. So how did, first of all, Carrie not wake up when this was happening or get tar on her at all? Like,
just the head.
How did the grandmother only get tar on Kathy's head? Just her head, which was like a black piece of bubble gum.
Oh.
Like, how?
That's the magic of writing.
They didn't talk about how her head was stuck to the pillow. Like, you get hot tar poured on your head.
Hot tar.
At night. You're gonna, like, that pillow's part of your head now. But, like, she took pains to describe how, like, the grandmother had carefully made sure that every single strand of hair was covered in tar. And it was just kind of, like, lumped together, I guess. How, like, if you're in the middle of washing your hair, you gotta pile it up. Like, that.
So, for vanity purposes. So, Christopher uses his science kit, his legit 1950s, 60s science kit with boric acid in it to make solvents.
Yep.
To dissolve the tar.
Kathy has 700 baths that day. Pees in the tub.
She pees in the tub, that's right. And Chris, like, promises
to help.
He's not going to look. He's looking. He loving. And that's one of the legs of their incestuous relationship.
Yep.
Is the care with which he worked out the tar. Because, like, that was his precious.
Yep. Yeah, he couldn't stand to have her lose, like, one
flaxen strand.
One flaxen strand.
And then, that's right. That's when grandmother withholds food for 2 weeks. And the twins almost starve, and Chris has to feed them his blood. And then they have to fake that Kathy has no hair. So
yeah, that was before, because they did that, and then the grandmother didn't show up. Yeah.
I remember Jack, man.
They did that, and then the grandmother didn't show up, and they're like, great, well, we didn't even have to cut Kathy's hair off. She was wearing, like, a scarf. To be like, I'm embarrassed for my shaven head. Because Chris just, like, got rid of a little bit, but then later she's like, oh, my new grown in hair really became me because it's so curly. I'm such a babe.
Meanwhile, Mama Corinne is very infrequent. She gives Kathy dresses without darts in the bosom. Little girl dresses that don't see her burgeoning womanly body. So during this whole starvation period, we don't see Mama Corinne. And then when she comes back, sit down, because she got married.
She comes floating in with all these gifts, being like, darlings, my darlings, I'm so excited I got married.
I forgot about my darlings.
Yeah, my darlings.
It's always my darlings.
My darlings.
Yeah, so, hey, stepdaddy. And I love that immediately Kathy's like, so you told me you got 4 kids? She's like, no.
Well, not yet.
Not yet. I need to like...
He's daddy's lawyer. I have to wait until dad dies.
And it's just like, and going and going and going. And I don't remember when the turning point is for Chris. Was it the starvation part?
It was that, and the fact that they, like, the mom had been, like, off in Europe and didn't tell them she was leaving, didn't tell them that she was marrying Bart. Like, they realized, like, all right, I think we're losing an ally here. We have to make a contingency plan so that way we can escape if we need to.
So Chris is finally on board with trying to escape. But what do they need?
They need a key.
Money.
They need a key.
Okay, you can just carve a wooden key. What kind of skeleton key, kind of on a ring of keys jailer type of situation is this?
That kind. It's that kind.
We gotta pick gotta be soft enough to carve it. Now you don't want to break it off in a lot. I can't handle that, man.
I don't know, but I know that that's like a thing that I've seen before, like making a copy of a key by like pressing it in between 2 soap bars.
Yeah, okay.
I think it would be a lot easier to carve a key out of wood if it was just a skeleton key.
But I need to pause here. I'm forgetting the haircut Kathy gives him to look like Prince Valiant.
Yeah, which I just picture as like He-Man's hair. Yeah.
He-Man.
And he's just like, yeah.
So the plan is to go steal from Mama, and she's in the sluttiest room.
The sluttiest room you ever
slutted. Great swan bed.
In a strawberry pink walled...
Mauve curtains. There's mauve curtains.
Suite of rooms, actually.
A suite of rooms.
Which I don't really understand.
Why? You can have like...
No, I know. I can kind of visualize it, but now I just like want to go visit mansions. That's what I'm saying.
Foxworth Hall is one hallway in my mind.
It's literally just a hall.
This is the hall.
Just linen closets and bathrooms off of it.
Is this the hall?
That's it.
No, this is Foxworth Hall. Okay, it's just a hall. So they go steal the monies. Never too much.
Yep. Loose change, small bills.
Ones and fives. And there's talk about their meals degrading in quality. It's just the same old fried chicken.
But once the grandmother decided to start feeding them again, they started getting powdered donuts, which was, they were like, oh my God, Grandma felt bad, I bet. Maybe she doesn't think.
Powdered donuts. Bum, 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 bum. Powdered donuts. So
we always knew they were bad for your health, but how bad?
So it's just going and going. It's reaching its climax, its apex. And I feel like the night that kicked it off, Chris was sick, right? Mm-hmm. Chris was sick and he couldn't go stealing. Mm-hmm. So Kathy goes to a stealing.
Oh! Sorry, reel it in a little bit. Something important.
What did we miss?
One time Chris and Kathy went down together because Kathy was like,
I want to see it. Oh my God, yes.
And then Chris was like, no, the twins. And she's like, they sleep through everything, Chris. Let me go. Let me get out of this room. And so he takes her with them, and like she like puts on her mom's clothes and stuff, but then like she finds this like book that's like how to crochet doilies for your grandma. But it's not that, it's just like the book cover, and then it's like a Kama Sutra porn book. And they're like, oh my God, porn book.
They're like, we should put it away.
We should put it away, but we should flip through it.
But we should also read every page with our burgeoning pubiness, sexuality.
Pubescity.
Pubescentness.
Pubosity.
Sparkling pubescence.
It's my favorite drink.
My glistening pubescence. Oh God, no. So they're full of glistening pubescence. So Chris is sick and he can't go a stealing, and Kathy goes a stealing. Oh, but what soft light breaks through yonder swan bed is Bart Winslow, stepfather Bart, with his
Passed out.
with his thick, luscious mustache, and she is damp over it.
Moist for moistashes.
She's moistashing. And he's like in his tux, and his long legs are crossed.
Sprawled.
He's sprawled and splayed at the foot of the swan bed, and she is feeling. So she goes over.
She jizzes over there.
She slug trails over there, and just gives him little kisses, she gives him a smoocher.
Yeah, she gives him a little gentle,
feathery,
barely brush the lip.
Barely
oh,
there.
tickly mustache.
Feathery mustache tickle kiss.
Mustache tickle kiss.
And then she scampers off. Later on, Christopher overhears this, and I don't remember under what context
he was going to steal,
and
he
came back.
I think the mom and Bart were supposed to be gone.
They
so he
left
was
and came back, and he was in
he
the
was
room.
he was lurking, and he was like, I want to stay. She's like, last time you stayed here, you fell asleep,
Wait, Chris was lurking? Are you sure? That sounds...
Last time you came here to change your shirt, you fell asleep and dreamt about that beautiful girl who kissed you.
And he's like, I always swear I hear ballet music.
He's like, stop being so jealous of a dream, Corinne.
Did Corinne not put two and two together? Is she a functional idiot?
I think later she was like, I knew it was you back in the day.
I was,
But Corinne, is just la 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 la, cover her ears, la la la, anyways, and anything had to do with, her kids, so she probably,
anything,
yeah, literally.
So Christopher hears, and he knows. He knows.
He's like, oh my God. What?
So I think that Kathy is being wistful in the attic.
Well,
Wistful in the moonlight.
Well, Mom and Bart leave, though, and then Chris is like, let me get at that Kama Sutra macrame sex book.
Ugh.
I gotta flip through this.
So,
I'm so mad.
cut to Kathy in her diaphanous gown, being wistful at the attic moonlight, and then Chris just rapes her.
He's just like, Kathy, how dare you?
On a smelly mattress.
They really make sure that you know that.
They make sure we know that is a filthy
mattress.
Disgusting mattress. So he rapes her, and she's like, I guess it's okay.
She was like, no, I mean, what were you supposed to do?
I'm diaphanous.
I shouldn't have flirted with you. I should have been more cover up with my stuff. It was me wearing the filmy negligee that our mother bought for me.
She's negligee all the time.
Constantly.
She's constantly...
Everything's filmy. There's a lot of filmy fabrics in this book series.
I forgot about the film.
Filmy. Everything's filmy.
Oh, God, it really is so gross.
And barely there.
It's...
Filmy.
I hate filmy. Filmy. You keep saying that word. I'm not sure it means what you think it means.
It means exactly what it means.
There's a film of gross sexuality.
Yeah. That's rubbing. That's cleaning a window, not bed springs.
So then, so gross. So it is happening, and then Corey's sick. Corey dies. Sorry. Spoiler
He's
alert.
sick, and they're like, please someone get this kid. And then Mom's like, let's run him out of here. And the next day they're like, oh yeah, we took him to the hospital, he had pneumonia, he died. I don't know. I
guess he had pneumonia? It was a fake name.
Yeah. The mom was like, I just said that he was like my nephew and a ward unto me. So he's like, he's buried somewhere, probably.
He's just buried under a fake name. So
or is he?
Kathy knows that this is because of their sin.
It was like immediately, right?
P.S. Their sin?
Yeah, no shit, huh?
Gross. Chris is so gross, and he's so portrayed so valiantly. I have much to say over the course of this series about Christopher. Christopher. He's Chris. And
he's so optimistic, and he gives her strength to carry on.
Slash get raped.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then it's like time to escape forever times.
I want to mention, though, too, they did break out of the room once to go swimming in a lake.
Oh, my God, I forgot the lake. And she was like, I think she had no bra on. So they
were just like skinny dipping in there.
Nippy titty everywhere.
Right? Isn't that like, there have been times too where it was like they were laying together and Kathy was just like, whatever, I'm just nude. And it's like, oh, he dared to fondle and kiss my nipple. And then she was like, cut it out, Chris. You're my brother.
Don't fondle my young breast.
Stop cupping my nipple with your mouth.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. What about the time where she fell on scissors? Remember when she fell on scissors? After she gave him the Prince Valiant haircut,
oh yeah,
he jokingly said he was going to cut her hair, and they had to race through the attic with scissors. And she fell on them, and he had to give her stitches. He had to give her medical grade stitches in the attic with dental floss or something, with his doctor bag, and then he had to like fondle and kiss her budding breasts in apology. And I hope you don't scar. Ugh. Like, it's disgusting.
That's how I want someone to say they're sorry to me.
Cupping?
Yeah.
Cupping and fondling?
Fondle cup. I'll take a large, please.
Hey, I spilled your drink here.
Yeah.
Just constant
You
fondling.
do it with the cup that you spilled the drink out of.
If
just
I could
cup
take
it over.
like a coffee mug.
Yeah.
And just kind of conk. So suction. It's got to be one of those big wide latte mugs.
Yep. Absolutely. Campbell's cappuccino.
It can't be like one of those espresso cups.
I mean, it could, but
that ain't
it's a different look than I'm thinking about. Yeah.
So escape. Corey's dead.
Fucking dead.
I don't remember I don't remember why. It's as it gets to the end.
Ask me.
It's just like, and then we decided that he had been poisoned, and we tried it out on the mouse. Like,
it was
no.
Chris. So Chris went to go. They were like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Because if we don't get out of here, like, we're gonna die too. You, like, Chris, stop being a dick. Go steal anything that's not nailed down. Get all of the jewelry. Get all of the money, and get back up here. And so Kathy's like waiting, like in the room with Carrie, and like it's getting light out, and she's like, "What the actual fuck? Like, we're gonna miss this train." And then Chris comes in, and he's just like, "Ugh." So he finds out, like, the mother, like, just peaced out.
They have gotten out of Dodge. They have their own house. They haven't been there for a while. Swan Room is, like, cleared out.
Yep. All he found in, like, the...
Were some hooks and some wire. Oh.
He found in the safe, like, just, like, a picture of their dad in a silver frame, and he was like, nice, Corinne, nice.
Oh, and the family album.
Oh, yeah.
She eventually has a family album.
Yeah.
Kathy does.
Yeah. That is true. Those are both there. So... So Chris is like, well, shit, now I gotta go.
He goes banana pants and like tears through, creepy. He lurks throughout the house, banana pants, and overhears the butler John Amos.
Well, he goes into the grandfather's study, and then he's like, I'm gonna go, like, I'm gonna stand up to this dude and just be like, will you ever fucking die? And that's when he finds out that, like, that room is empty. And then he's like, what is going on? Why is this room empty? Where's my grandfather? And then he hears people coming into, like, the study that's adjoining the ex-hospital room of his grandfather. So he's hiding under this couch, and, like, the butler and the maid are, like, in between, like, fucking and stuff. They're talking about how, like, the old man's been dead for 9 months, and that the grandmother, like, there's all these mice in the attic. Like, the grandmother keeps bringing up all
poisoned donuts.
Poisoned, like, picnic basket full of arsenic-did food.
To cure the mice.
To cure the mice. There must be so many mice. No wonder we're hearing weird stuff all the time.
Scamperings and rape.
So no wonder we're hearing scampery rape up there. So yeah, Chris is like, so I think the grandmother friggin' poisoned us because arsenic has no taste and it would really powdered sugar. And so they're like, let's test it out on dead Corey's pet mouse that trusts us. And then they just watched it slowly die, and they're like, oh yeah, maybe we should bounce. That's what happened.
That's okay. Because I remember, like, at the end, it is just boom, 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 go, thing happening. Then we do the thing. And then you're married, then you're scarred and sliced, and then there's nipple cupping, and then there's skinny dipping, and then the twins don't grow, mama.
Their heads are big.
Are too large for their frail bodies. Cause they
barely grew. They've only grown a half of a quarter of an inch, but their head is so large, they're like a T-Rex.
So
unceremoniously they leave. They just like unlock their door, go downstairs, unlock the outside door, just like walk away
to catch the train.
To catch the train.
And as we reach the end of the story, their grand plan is to to join the circus.
In Florida.
To join this, we'll go where it's warm.
Because Carrie needs the sun. Maybe she'll grow in the warm Florida sun with all the...
Remember they used to swing from
Vitamin
the
C.
attic rafters? It was mentioned one time.
Yeah.
But we can make a career out of this.
Absolutely.
So they're going on the bus.
That's it.
And hold up. I just want to say that Kathy's burning flame of vengeance against her mother is just... So Chris is like, all right, we got the evidence, which a bit flimsy, eh?
Yeah.
Like, here's
We got a
some
dead
poison
mouse and
donuts
a
some
poison donut, yeah.
So what do you say, girl? You want to go to the authorities? And she's like, no.
No, he manipulated her because he was like, we go to the authorities, but they'll split us all up and put us in different foster homes if that's what
God,
you want.
good.
That's what happened.
Get away from that guy.
And she was like, nah.
No. Let's
So she just like
go to Florida.
threw it in the trash and was like, then we got on the bus.
So, like, I was like, like, I feel like Kathy, her whole thrusting story arc is vengeance against her mother. And then on the last page, she's like, no, let's go to Florida.
I think it was because, though, Chris threatened, like, they would all... She's like, well, the only thing I need is you guys, then. I don't need my vengeance. Like, meanwhile, she totally needs her vengeance. Please
like,
believe.
hold on. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So that's the story. And yikes. So...
Those were the flowers in said attic.
So something that I thought would be fun...
But mostly in a room at the end of the hall.
Room with a view of a porch of the attic.
Staircase in a pond.
So... As we draw to a close here, we are going to pick from Oprah's book club questions. She invented the book club, and we've been talking for a while.
No one's ever done one before.
No one ever did one.
No.
So we can draw one each. So if you want to draw a question for me to ask you.
Hear that? I'm tossing.
Tossing the questions. Let me ask it to you. Give
it. Ask it to me.
I'm going to ask it to you. Did the book feel real to you?
Listen,
homies.
no. Like, I do believe that it sounds like mostly the ramblings of its youngish teenage girl's diary, for sure. Lots of dramatics. It is really weird because it's written so much from the point of view of this sort of like pre to mid-teen girl. Like, when they leave, Kathy's 14 and Chris is 17. Or maybe she's 15. She's 15 when they
15,
leave.
yeah.
And Chris is 18. Sorry.
17. Whatever.
Ish. They're like, oh, anyways. So, yeah, like, you're like, okay, yeah, this tracks. And then there's just, like, extra detailed, lustful stuff and, like, yeah, I don't...
I mean, there are terrible things that happen in the world. People get locked away and abused. But the way it's very, when someone calls it like a gothic, like American Gothic kind of, it's that minor chord.
Yeah, for sure.
Funk. It's always something. Always something.
Yeah, because it's like everything's so bad, but yeah, the grandmother brings us up different food. Like, she's in the kitchen at 4 a.m. frying chicken.
Making a potato salad.
Making greasy cold fried chicken. Like, I don't know. There are things that don't track, so...
That's unreal.
Yeah.
So let's see. Where's my question?
Your question. What was your favorite part of the book?
It was not. It was not the incestuous rape.
Oh, I'm surprised.
So let's talk
Shocked.
about that favorite part. Jesus. Oh man, I don't know about that. That is a head scratcher. Wow, so much. I can't.
Favorite.
I know we are struggling with this. But speaking of incestuous rape,
Oh my god.
I feel like you can
do.
feel it building. It is building to that. But then when it happens, you're like, oh, I'm uncomfortable.
VC Andrews is so great at foreshadowing that she's terrible at foreshadowing because it's very obvious when she brings something up that it's going to, like,
It's hit you over the
happen
head with a brick.
almost immediately.
It is like a picnic basket over the head.
Yeah, I think. But to be fair, she doesn't really like draw out any sort of like sexual scenes too much.
It is like then
it doesn't get very graphic. Like it's graphic content, but not graphic description.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
So that is good. Like just so you know, if you haven't read
Just
it,
FYI. I don't know why you've gone on this journey with us if you haven't read it.
it's just like and then it was like painful, and I was like, man, I bet that was my fault. That's the rape scene. It wasn't your fault, Kathy.
Kathy. So
my favorite part was how angry Kathy was at Corinne, and how it was just like always like Chris was like, we can trust Mama, don't worry, we can trust Mama, and Kathy was like, we can't trust Mama, and then Mama was always like, do you like my new shoes? That was my favorite part. Corinne just like not reading the literal room at all.
The literal room full of draperies and hell.
Draperies, hell, and her starving, big-headed, hollow-eyed children.
I happened upon this idea on the way over here that the grandmother really could have done better with her time management and brought them a weekly grocery drop-off, and now I'm upset about it.
Yeah.
I'm upset that she's wasting her time. Like, what a waste.
I know. If you're going to think about yourself all the time, think about yourself all the time.
A lot of crackers and cheese.
Yep.
Just drop it off once a week. Mm-hmm. So, much like Flowers in the Attic, we have a dwindling ending here. So make sure that you send us your thoughts on Flowers in the Attic. And our email address is vcspiecespodcast@gmail.com. And maybe we'll read it on the air to our loyal viewers, of which there are none.
Yet.
I don't think we have a snappy
Listeners.
send-off. I was making a joke about it's...
Yeah, thanks for viewing.
Thanks for viewing. It's much like a telethon.
Yeah.
Keep us going. Don't forget to hit up our sponsor, Nondescript Secretary School, for when you're trying to not be a shitbag and make a life for your children.
What do I got here? Generic Secretary School for lying widowed mothers everywhere. You don't need a man, just your dad's money. Thanks for listening to VC's Pieces Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it.
Technical support was provided by Boo and Matt. Thank you for answering all of my stupid questions.
Music is Dust in My Attic by Broke MC, used under a Creative Commons license.
Stay tuned for more episodes released hopefully regularly. In the meantime, have a powdered donut, tend those evil seeds, and try to control yourself at the next family function.